All right. Cooper DeJean, or DeJean, depending on how you say it, he has been selected here, finally gets selected by the Philadelphia Eagles, and we'll get into the film, what I like about him as a player, why I like this move by the Eagles. But first, it's so Eagles, right, that I feel like every draft they do this, where they somehow just consistently get best players available, and it feels like part of what they do is they, here are willing to trade as they usually are, but also don't just say, well, we need a corner, so we're gonna sit where we're at and hope a corner falls to us, and then draft whatever the best corner on our board is at that point. No, they wanted a corner, they go up and they get the best corner available, and they usually have a habit of drafting players who fall in the draft, and those players tend to usually be pretty good. So I don't know if they were planning on doubling down on corner, but when a guy like Cooper DeJean fell, who's a guy who I really like as a player, I was a little bit lower than some people. Like, I think he was like ninth on the PFF big board. I wasn't quite that high, but I still had a first round grade on him. So getting him here in round two feels like a bit of a steal for me personally. So Eagles doing some good stuff. Let's talk about the player himself and what I like about him. Let's just get into the film. Let's start off with this play, which is, I think, an interesting play to start off with. Now, you might be wondering a little bit, why am I using this play instead of like a coverage play? He's a corner. Well, the real thing with Cooper DeJean is the fact that he is just so good at doing so many different things. I mean, that's kind of the biggest benefit, is he checks every box, and this play will be a good example of what he can do, where, we'll watch what happens. When this play begins, you see a receiver runs up and is honestly in pretty good position to block DeJean here, but watch how DeJean is able to, you see him go towards the edge and really make a, pretty good tackle there as well, knock the player out of bounds. He's very physical and definitely can get into the play on these types of things, which is very impressive for a corner. Like, this one's another one where it's going to be the way the concept is supposed to work for Illinois on this one is to have several receivers running deeper routes over the middle, and then to have the halfback run a kind of, just running an underneath route right here. You hit the halfback. It's 3rd and 15. You're not expecting a ton here, but, at your opponent's 40-yard line, you'd like to at least gain some yards and get into field goal range. That is where DeJean is, and watch what he's going to do on this one. So, when this play begins, quarterback takes the snap, quickly gets the ball to the halfback, but DeJean is reading this one so well. That's step one. But again, he's a corner, right? And just because you're reading a play well, you have to then get over and actually make the tackle, and that might be difficult. And you want to make this tackle quickly, as I said. You don't want to give him a chance at a field goal, or at least not an easy field goal. But watch him quickly get over, and he is able to make that immediate tackle and is able to get the stop right there. It's really impressive stuff, and he can really consistently do this stuff, I would say, which is part of what I like about him. So, that stuff, which, again, people will say, well, I want a corner who can cover. I don't care about this stuff. At the end of the day, this stuff matters. You need guys who can do this. And for someone like DeJean, who might be doing several different things, not just playing a pure cover corner, but, might be in the slot or as a safety as well, being able to do this certainly matters. A play like this, I think, is interesting, where one thing I did notice with DeJean is he can overcommit. He certainly can, and he can, he's not incapable of getting beat. Let's just say that. This one is a man coverage play. It's a slant route that he's supposed to be going up against. Okay, well, let's see what happens. Well, when this play begins, he's giving up a little bit of separation, right? Definitely a little bit of separation. And again, it's a 2nd down and 8. Maybe you're more comfortable giving up 5 yards or so. But it's definitely playing a little bit further back right here, which is something I've noticed with him, is that, I said he can overcommit at the beginning of this, but also he definitely is someone who is a little bit quick to bail. He's a little bit quick to give up a little bit of space, which, he's a fast enough corner. He doesn't have to do that. It's not necessarily a critique, more so just a play style thing I noticed. But here is why that doesn't really bother me too much the way it might bother me with other players. Is usually I hate when guys, give up too much space, but if you can come back and if you have good ball skills, I'm going to be more forgiving. And Cooper DeJean doesn't have good ball skills. He has great ball skills. look at him read this play when the ball gets over there. He actually steps in front and gets the interception on this one. He gets a pick 6 out of that. A really good awareness. And so even if, I think that's part of why he would give up space, is because he was almost kind of hoping guys would throw in his direction because he had really good ball skills and wanted some takeaways. So, okay, fair enough. If you're getting those kind of results, it works. And that's kind of why evaluating young players can sometimes be so difficult, is because, hey, he's trying to be a successful college player. He's not trying to show off at the NFL level. We could sit here and say, well, at the NFL level, the ball will come out quicker, the receiver would cut quicker and he would be screwed. Well, at the NFL level, he also can adjust to it, and maybe he wouldn't give up that much space in that situation. So, it's definitely something I do think is definitely a positive. Although going over here, I'd be lying if I said these plays didn't drive me crazy, where it's cover 3 zone. The route, the zone that Cooper DeJean is covering is the route, the one that route is eventually going to go into, the deep route towards the, far right-hand side of the screen, side of the field for the offense. So for us, the top left-hand corner of the screen. You see that when this play begins, that for DeJean, he's turned his back towards the receiver and he's, bailing very quickly, which is, again, you have to wonder how much of this is a coaching thing, because the corner on the other side of the field is doing the exact same thing. But, these things did kind of drive me crazy a little bit watching it on film, because it felt like there was often a lot of room to throw underneath. Here, that is going to happen, and, for me personally, this is it's a weird thing of how much do you consider this a negative, because on one hand, a lot of times when guys do this, it's because they, don't have the speed to, stay deep with these guys. I think DeJean does have the speed to keep with those guys. I really think it's just a coaching thing, but I guess the question is, there does feel like a bit of projection with someone like DeJean, and I also think it's fair to say, what exactly is his role? Like, I don't see him as just like a pure cover 3 zone corner. I think that would be a mistake. I think it depends on what is he going to be doing and where is he going to go. So, scheme fit and all that stuff is really going to come into play. However, there's still, even with me having some critiques, all the critiques are fixable, and there's so much good to like with him. I'm definitely banking on him succeeding as a player. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. I appreciate that. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button or just click on the channel itself. I will be covering every little detail about this draft, so, if there's anything you're interested in, I'm sure I have a video about it. Make sure you check that out. Also, if you like movies, make sure you check out my movie channel. The link is in the description for that. Have a lot of fun stuff on there, some movie reviews, some tier lists, stuff like that. And also, if you want to just hear more of my general thoughts, follow me on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it. Link is in the description for that as well. And once again, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it.